Breaking news. Hansi Flick finally celebrates 3 pieces of good news during the training session in preparation for the next match. Additionally, a journalist from Mundo Deportivo confirms the potential successor to Lewandowski, and very positive news about Camp Nou arrives. We provide all the details now, but first, we ask you to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and turn on notifications to stay well informed about everything happening at FC Barcelona. Thank you very much. Reopening of Spotify Camp Nou. FC Barcelona is preparing for a historic moment, the reopening of Spotify Camp Nou. The club has announced that it will open the stadium doors on Friday, November 7th, marking a significant step before the official return of matches to the remodeled Blaugrana temple. Since October 17th, Barça has already obtained the first occupancy license from the Barcelona City Council, allowing the use of part of the new facilities with an initial capacity of 27,000 people, distributed between the main stand and part of the south stand. The club's intention is to hold an open training session with the first team, exclusively for members. As reported by the Gigantes portal and confirmed by Mundo Deportivo, the session would take place in the morning, maintaining the usual training schedule, and would serve as a general rehearsal before the official re-inauguration of the stadium during a match. Barca's plan is for Spotify Camp Nou to host an official match again at the end of November, specifically in the clash against Athletic Club scheduled for Saturday, November 22nd. In the coming days, technicians from the City Council will conduct a new inspection to certify that the works meet all the necessary requirements for obtaining the 1B license, which will increase the capacity to 45,000 fans, with the side area fully operational. While awaiting this approval, the club wants to offer a few thousand privileged fans the excitement of returning to the stadium 2.5 years after the last official match played there, against Mallorca, on May 28, 2023. Although the traditional Joan Gamper Trophy will not be held at Camp Nou, Barcelona intends to use this open training session as a logistical test, evaluating access, security systems, and the operation of all stadium services. According to the club itself, Spotify Camp Nou is already technically ready to host official matches, but the board has decided to wait until reaching the capacity of 45,401 seats, the number corresponding to the completion of Phase 1B of the project, leaving only the north stand closed. Thus, the new Camp Nou will approach the current capacity of the Montjuic Olympic Stadium, which holds nearly 50,300 spectators and where Barça will still play one last match this Sunday against Elche. For now, tickets for the highly anticipated match against Athletic Bilbao on November 22nd are not yet available, but the return to Camp Nou already feels like a reunion with the soul and history of Barcelona. After enduring a true nightmare of injuries during the last Clásico, where no fewer than 7 key absences were recorded, coach Hansi Flick is finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. The German can breathe a little easier as he prepares for FC Barcelona's next match, which will take place this Sunday against Elche at the Estadio Olímpic Luis Companys, in the 11th round of La Liga. The main news is the return of Robert Lewandowski, who missed the last 3 matches against Girona, Olympiacos, and Real Madrid due to a muscle injury suffered while playing for the Polish national team. The striker is now fully recovered and training normally with the rest of the squad, which is excellent news for Flick, who had been struggling with a lack of offensive options. However, the coach's plan is to proceed with caution. The expectation is that Lewandowski will be available for the match against Elche but will start on the bench, entering the game only if necessary. The goal is to avoid any risk of relapse and ensure the forward is in peak condition in the coming weeks, especially with Barcelona's packed schedule leading up to the next FIFA international break. In addition to the return of the number 9, Wednesday's training session brought more good news for the technical staff. Dani Olmo and Joan Garcia also resumed participation in first-team activities. Both players are at critical stages of their recovery and have shown significant progress in their physical condition. However, the club remains extremely cautious. Given Dani Olmo's injury history, the medical team is implementing a gradual return plan, avoiding any rush to bring him back before the ideal moment. The idea is for the midfielder to regain competitive rhythm in a controlled manner, prioritizing his full recovery for the rest of the season. The same applies to Joan Garcia, who recently underwent surgery. While his recovery is positive, both the medical staff and the coach agree there is no need to rush. With Ter Stegen delivering solid performances, as seen in his excellent display at the Santiago Bernabéu, the club is giving him all the time he needs to return only when he is fully ready. The good news is that with the upcoming international break just 2 weeks away, Flick will have extra time to fully recover his players and rebalance the squad. After weeks of tension and improvisation, the German coach is finally seeing Barcelona's roster come back together, regaining key players and, with them, hope of staying in the fight for the top spots in the league. In the case of Pedri, there is significant concern at FC Barcelona. The midfielder has suffered a thigh muscle injury, and all indications suggest he will be sidelined for at least a month. This means he will not return before the November international break, and according to Catalan media, his recovery could extend into December, depending on the progression of his physical condition. As a result, the Spanish international is confirmed to miss key matches in the coming weeks. He will not be available for the Champions League match against Club Brugge on November 5th, nor for the La Liga clash against Celta de Vigo on November 9th. Additionally, Pedri remains doubtful for the highly anticipated home match against Athletic Bilbao on Saturday, November 22nd, a game that could mark Barcelona's return to the Camp Nou. Ata Young, the young striker who is dazzling fans and experts alike, has firmly entered FC Barcelona's radar. At just 22 years old, the Cameroonian forward, currently playing for Levante, owned by Villarreal, has become one of the biggest revelations of this La Liga season. He has drawn attention for his physical power, impressive speed, and lethal instinct in front of goal. With 6 goals in 10 matches, he ranks among the league's top scorers, matching Julian Alvarez's tally and sitting just behind Kylian Mbappé, cementing his status as one of Spanish football's standout sensations. According to journalist Roger Torello of Mundo Deportivo, Young is being considered as a potential successor to Robert Lewandowski starting next season. The Catalan club recognizes that the Polish striker's cycle is nearing its end and that finding a long-term replacement is a priority for the sporting director. In this context, Young's name emerges as an ideal option, a young player with significant growth potential, physically dominant, and possessing the natural goal-scoring instincts of a true center-forward. The player's journey also carries symbolic weight. When he was 17 years old, Young posted a photo on social media wearing a Barça jersey, revealing his admiration for the club and his idols, such as Samuel Eto'o and Ronaldinho. Fate, however, led him down a different path, first to Villarreal and now to Levante, where he is finally showcasing his full potential. Despite growing interest, an immediate transfer is impossible. Under FIFA regulations, the striker cannot switch clubs again this season, as he has already represented 2 different teams. Therefore, any negotiations can only be finalized at the end of the current campaign. Nevertheless, behind-the-scenes discussions have already begun, and the player's representatives are reportedly willing to discuss a pre-agreement in January.